Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Cove. Today I'm going to be talking about the P2R learning strategy. So what is P2R? P2R is a three-step reading or studying strategy that helps you increase information retention and comprehension. This reading strategy is meant for basic to intermediate reading lengths. So if you have like a longer reading length, you can break them down into like 10 pages at a time. So the first step of P2R is going to be the preview, where you're going to take about 5 minutes. You're going to read over any headings, summaries, vocabulary, and any bold or italicized words or phrases in the reading. This will help you get a general understanding of what you're going to be reading. Second step is going to be to read actively. What this means is that you're going to be doing something while you're reading. This could be taking notes, this could be highlighting, this could be underlining, or it could be all of them. You're going to be wanting to focus on any keywords, phrases, or main ideas. And the last step of P2R is going to be to review. This is where you're going to look over your notes, you're going to look over any sections in the reading, and you're going to attempt to answer any questions about the reading. Usually, most chapters will have like an end chapter questions or end of session, end of section questions. And even during the preview, you can write your own questions that you can answer at this point. So why use P2R? P2R is going to provide and build context and any background for topics that you cover in the reading. It's going to help you reduce the amount of time that you spend reading. It's going to improve your motivation to read, even if the reading does seem boring. It's going to help you prepare. It's going to prepare the reading to make it easier to refer back to because it's already marked up. You can look back into the notes, and you can find the highlights, the underlines, the notes you've written on the side. And lastly, it's going to improve your comprehension of the information. So this is how I use P2R. I sat down with a highlighter and a pencil by my book. To begin the preview section, I would quickly skim through any major headings, any bold letterings. During this stage, I would also write out any possible questions I could form based on those headings, based on those vocabularies, those bold letterings. At this point, I would move on to step two, where I would read through, highlight, and write any notes on the side. After I finished my reading, I would go to the review step, where I would look through the major headings again. I would reread my highlights and I'll reread my notes. At this point, I would also try to answer any questions that I've written before, or if there was a section in my reading, I would uh, answer the questions that they're given. And if I would ever go back to it in the future, I would just continue reviewing the highlights, any notes I've taken, just to make my studying faster. So the results of PTR was very successful for me and helped me finish my readings and also helped me understand it a lot more. So I major in history, and history involves a lot of reading, especially a lot of articles, snippets, and even whole chapters and books. And they'll cover a bunch of different topics. Using the strategy helped me remember what idea came from which article because I could refer back to like a major headline and I can look at the highlight and then remember, oh, this is what I wrote. This is what's gonna help me with my paper. When I was referring back to the sources, it was extremely easy to help me find the highlights and to remember which headline contained supporting evidence for my paper. And then I also noticed that what normally takes me about 20 minutes to read through it, it took me about 15 minutes. And I found myself actually understanding the information a lot more because I was focusing less on the, I guess you can call it the filler of the articles and focusing more on the main points, the main arguments of whatever I was reading. Some applications you can use in case you're not a history major. If you're tackling a longer reading, just break up the reading into smaller chunks, like I brought it before. You want to break up to like 10 pages at a time, and then keep applying the P2R strategy for each 10 pages. You can also just write down headlines and keywords and take notes under each section. So, for example, like you can write down the key headline, you can write down the key word on another column, and then as you're reading through, write down under each headline or each keyword some notes. Um, you could save highlighting for potential quotes and main ideas, so that way you don't highlight everything. One of the main problems with highlighting is that you can get carried away and you end up highlighting some filler. So try to save highlighting for anything that you can quickly refer back to. Um, Lastly, if you're writing an assignment, do P2R on your own notes possibly. You can look at the main sections that you've wrote. You can break those down and highlight the ideas from your notes that can help your assignment. Because just because you're taking a lot of notes doesn't mean all of it's going to be helpful.